What's up, fam and homeboys and all my niggas in the block?
Don't do that. I hate having to edit these.
But I haven't said we haven't said bad words since like the first episode. Like
That is true. But every time you do say it, you slip it in there, and I have to scrub through and find it because I know it's there. I know it's the.
That's the beauty of it, though.
I know everyone's into the Lamar roasting Franklin at the moment.
Yeah. You know, I want to do a tier list of the best Lamar roast Franklin memes, and we will do that. We will do that.
Okay,
I need to
good.
compile the best, maybe the top 20, the best top 20 ones. But did you see one where it's like they've gone full endgame with it, and it's like you've got Lamar teaching people how to roast.
He's giving like a lecture.
Everyone turning up on these buses.
Oh, that's awesome.
And like in practice, that is like the perfect end of a meme. But the problem with it, that edit, I was like, oh my god, they're actually getting to this point. They're all surrounding him, SpongeBob, fucking everyone.
Yeah.
And then they're just like, it's just the one Lamar line repeated all at once. But like, I mean, come on, man, you should have got like impressionists to do like all the different characters and just layer the shit of it.
They probably would have been okay with that, but bar one bit.
Nigga.
I think I have to say I think so far my all-time favorite one is the Obama one.
Oh, that's
it's so perfect.
It's incredible. To be fair though, anything Obama wise is great. Like Obama Yoda, like
Obama Yoda. I love the old school clip of Obama talking about pussy and ribs.
Gotta have them ribs. And pussy too.
A man of fine taste.
Yes.
We're actually recording this on inauguration day for all of our American siblings.
That's true.
So we hope. I mean, as of recording this, it's in about 3 hours' time. So I hope nothing goes wrong. This could be an extremely important episode, you know? Yeah. We could be talking about this and shit goes down, and we were there. D-Day.
Looking at what happened at the Capitol building, I have a feeling something's going to go down. It's going to be protesters or something, but...
The funny thing is that, have you seen what the area surrounding Capitol now looks like? And like Washington looks like?
I saw like brief clips of it on the news.
You could swap it out for just the Division 2 cinematics.
It's a cool game.
Like, it's the exact same. Concrete blockades. I don't know why I said it with an accent, but like blocking off all the streets, metal barbed wire shit, and
yeah, I mean, it's a scary time. I wouldn't want to be there.
It is a scary time. So we hope everyone's alright. We hope Biden doesn't get assassinated by Trump. Trump's on the Washington Monument with a sniper.
Oh, it's like that scene in one of the animated Suicide Squad movies where like someone's killed and then it pans like a mile out.
Oh, all the way back. Yeah. Trump is the new Deadshot. That's why he had to pull out of being president. He didn't lose.
No, he's got his talents
acting commitment.
His talents are acquired elsewhere.
Yeah, he's actually in Suicide Squad, the Suicide Squad by James Gunn.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it.
As the hero.
It could be quite controversial, but I think it'll be cool.
I'm gonna move. There's a light down there. I put it on the floor because I thought it was a bit better, like lighting wise. Now I'm just realizing the shadow makes it look like, I don't know. When I'm like this, you can see my lap, and it just looks like I've got a massive chode.
It does.
And when I lean back,
to bring that up, it's just awkward. It's good though. It looks nice. It's very well lit. I mean, I have no room in here for lights or anything, so, and I have a terrible webcam. I have terrible setup here. It's awful.
No, it looks alright. It's just a bit grainy.
Yeah. Even like the monitor I have is like a really old one. That like I don't think it's full 1080p. At least it doesn't look it. It's like weirdly distorted the image.
I hate that. But then at the same time, you know when you see like these pictures on like Reddit or like Instagram or whatever, and it's like, this is my gaming setup. How about yours? And it's like a not even 360. It's like a 1080 circular screen that goes around. You have to like sit down and stand up into it, and it's like. I don't want like, because I've got friends that aren't into that, and then my missus has got friends that aren't into that kind of shit. So that if they come round, what are they going to think it is? I'll just look like the ultimate nerd.
It's a weird porn machine.
Yeah, like, I'm just stood up in the middle of the room with like a circular screen around me, and I'm just.
I'd be like far too scared to ever get a VR because, for one, I'd be too tempted, and anytime anyone comes over to see it, they'd be like. Oh,
Bro.
You've been on the Hub VR section, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I could bring up something equally controversial.
Please do.
But because we both share the PSVR, I don't think I'm going to bring it up, so we'll just let it slide. Right. So anyway, what's been going on? What do we want to talk about? I've got a list here. I'm looking.
What is it?
Back through my list.
Well, like in our personal lives or in the news?
Anything. Just what do you want to talk about? Like what you've been up to? Because this is like halfway. We're near the end of January, and I can't actually believe it.
Yeah, I haven't been up to much or anything. I've been really bored, but it seems like everywhere else, shit's going down. I've just been in my room playing video games, doing work.
Any fun video games?
No.
Fantastic.
I've actually been replaying Horizon Zero Dawn.
Oh, interesting.
When we were talking about like Forbidden West and stuff, I was like, I haven't played this game since it came out, so I was just interested to see if it held up. And it does. But there's so many things I can see where I'm like, okay, they could fix this, or this could be improved, like mechanics and stuff, or like the combat and all that. The UI, it's very messy.
Oh god, yeah, I remember that UI is like atrocious. Actually,
it just like fills up
like,
your entire
actually
screen.
Fucking schizophrenic that HUD, if I remember.
Yeah.
Like the only time you get away from it is when like during a battle and you get the slowdown time, attribute points and shit. That's the only time that you're like, okay, now I can actually see what's going on the screen. Like, I'll just give myself a bit.
I just constantly jump and use like the concentration slow motion thing because it just like makes it so much easier to like focus and see everything.
Yeah, it's funny because like some games can go too far with like the like it's a game. You know where like, okay, Horizon's got great immersive moments, but like it's still a video game and it doesn't try to hide that, does it? It's like you collect things, you have skill trees, you do all this stuff, and
it's very gamey.
Whereas you got something like Red Dead 2 especially, which I mean I love the game, but my god, did I just want to turn off animations? I don't want to bend, I don't want to watch Arthur with his fucking I don't know, like his chronically dilapidated knees, bending down to pick up some flowers in a swamp for 40 seconds.
See,
every time.
I honestly kind of like that about the game, though. I know that's stupid and probably a very unpopular opinion, but I like that like it has these very slow moments of literally just like skinning a ball, or like picking up daisies.
Yeah, I love the attention to detail, and it's you're right. Okay, you're right. Yeah, but it's great the first 500 times, fine. But after that, when you're going for either completion or you're just like grinding for stuff, it's just like, man, can I just skip this shit? Like, very well done, Rockstar. You've made it worthwhile to watch paint dry, essentially. But it's like, I keep thinking about this while I'm playing Ghost of Tsushima because I'm like, this game hits the perfect balance of immersion and video game. For example, one of the best things I think it does is you're riding your horse and you see some flowers or some supplies on the ground. You don't have to get off your horse. You can just look at it and press a button to collect it. You don't have to get off the fucking horse. Whereas the immersion from that game comes in the environment, not the things you do in it. And I wish more games were like that. I wish more games were just like, here's the immersive bit. It's about 80% immersion, and then the rest of it is just like video game.
That's subjective, I think.
Oh yeah, it's just my opinion, but
I mean, I get what you mean, but like, I don't know. That almost feels too video gamey to me. If you are going for that immersive stuff, like I would have hated if I was playing like The Last of Us 2, and you're in like some of the sections where you ride a horse and like some of the open world bits, and you can just like look at like arrows or whatever on the ground, and it just like teleports into your inventory. Like for me, that just wouldn't work.
I think for a game that grounds itself that hard, yeah, that would just be weird. I think Ghost, though, is a much more like cerebral kind of thing, and it makes up for the immersion because it's like I told you before, like there's that everyone knows this. There's no HUD essentially. There is when you're combat and stuff, but you essentially find things. You learn how Tsushima works, and like if you see a golden tree in the far distance, you can be like, well that means this is there. Something like this is there. So it's very like it's like you're looking at a real map and you're looking at the world around you, being like, what does that signify? But okay, wait. Let me ask you this then. GTA 6 comes out, all right, in 2045.
Bit of a stretch.
You play as really old Franklin, just after he's been roasted in the care home by Lamar.
I like to imagine they're still like friends, just hanging out in the care home. He's giving him shit about bitches on his dick. His old yee ass haircut.
Yee ass. So you get out. You go out to the driveway. You need to get in your car.
Okay.
But first, you need to find the car keys. Now you go back into the care home or his house, and every single cupboard and drawer and desk and sofa, anything, has been modelled in such a way that you have to go through every single drawer. Everything is openable, and that's great. You can even pick up a remote and press specific buttons on the TV. But you need to find Franklin's goddamn car keys.
Well, I think if he's in a care home, he shouldn't be driving.
Okay, fine. Like, okay, look, he's not in a care home. Doesn't matter. Whatever. Or his mobility scooter. He needs to find his little thing to put on the mobility scooter. You got to find it. You can even look under desks and under sofas.
I would
It
thoroughly
takes you an
enjoy
hour
that.
and a half to find car keys to start this first mission.
Does not
You then
take
go
you
outside.
an hour and a half to find your car keys. You have a little bowl by the side of your door where you keep your car keys.
The cutscene literally ends with Lamar going, "Damn, you don't even know where your car keys are." And Franklin's like, "Damn, right." And he's got to find them. That's the mission one. You've got to find your car. You've got to keep tabs on where your car keys are in your inventory. Because if you put them into, say, a coat, then you take that coat off and you wear a different coat. That now means the car keys are not in the coat you've just equipped. And you have to keep tabs on where you left that coat. You can take it off in the middle of the street. That's how immersive it is.
Yeah, but
it gets carried away by the wind or by a car.
How would that work with switching inventory space? Like, because let's say you
just have to drop things.
Let's say you switch coats. Can you not just like? Is there not an inventory where you can just like put them in the different one, or do you have to?
You're not understand. This is immersive.
How is this immersive?
Because okay. Your example, you've got Franklin's wearing a coat, and then you want to equip another coat he has in his cupboard.
Yeah.
You have to take that one off first, then pick up the other one. Then you can go over to the pockets of, like how in Red Dead 2 you can look at every item on the shelf in shops and pick them up and look at them. You do the same thing, but with every article of clothing and everything that exists in the world. And you have to take the car keys out and put them back into your new equipped clothing. All this to drive a fucking car in GTA.
That'd be cool.
No, it wouldn't.
Awesome.
You wouldn't think it's cool. But this is where we're going. This is what's going to happen. I guarantee it.
That would be awesome.
It'd be awesome if you could turn it off. If you could turn off the animations and stuff.
No.
If you could just be like, oh.
No, that's not the point of the game. And we forgot
What's
to mention.
the point of GTA?
And we forgot to mention this entire situation. It's in tank controls, so it's like playing like OG like Grim Fandango, where you have to like reverse and like slightly.
The first
like,
Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got to walk forward, then you've got to turn separately, and they disable the analog controls, so you have to just do it like. There's no stick. You just have to use the D-pad.
Yeah, that's awesome.
No. Oh. I don't know. Great game, Red Dead 2, but I don't know, that pissed me off right at the end. There's been a few things game-wise. I was going to say, have you seen all the stuff about... for the 5th year in a row, everyone's convinced that the Pokemon Diamond and Pearl remakes are real?
Yeah, this is the first time we've seen actual evidence of it, though.
That's
like,
the
we
thing.
have like some proof.
Would you be excited for this?
Yeah, well, Diamond and Pearl are like, they were the first Pokemon games I properly played. So I have like the most nostalgia for those ones, and I still think those are the best actual games. But, and they're still like some of the most difficult ones as well. But with how baby mode Pokemon has become over the past few years, I'm worried that they're going to ruin it by having like... I'm not as big a... I don't mind the like XP share. Like, it just sort of speeds up the game rather than makes it easier.
I didn't play much of Sword and Shield, but in that, I know a lot of people were pissed off about the XP share. In that, so you couldn't turn it off or something? Is that what happened? It was just... XP share was just built in.
Yeah, I think... I don't remember. It's been a while since I played it, but yeah, I think it was just built into the system. You couldn't turn it off or anything.
Oh, that's
Which I remember in like Sun and Moon, you could turn it off, or X and Y, whichever one introduced it.
Do you think the Diamond and Pearl remakes are going to be basically the Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu?
Well, I would assume so. I'd assume that's sort of what they're going for.
Or would that piss you off? Because Let's Go Eevee was easy as shit. I really enjoyed it because it was just it was just a much more streamlined version of Red and Blue, but we're yellow.
Well, it depends on how they do like wild encounters. If they still kept the just you throw a ball at the Pokemon, I would be kind of pissed. But
yeah.
if it was like normal battles, I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, that's a good point. Because I do think it will be that. I mean, what else would they do? They wouldn't make Sword and Shield. They wouldn't use that engine to make the Diamond and Pearl remakes. Because I feel like they've actually got these multiple games now. They've got your standard main entry, which God knows what that will be going forward. Then you've got Let's Go, which I guess they'll keep as a franchise, because I feel it weird to just trademark Let's Go and then make one game out of it.
Yeah, but I don't know how well received Let's Go was in general. Like, I think like both of us like enjoyed it for what it was, but
yeah, like you said though, baby mode. I think a lot of people were pissed. It's funny. I think it's really ironic though, because some people are like hardcore stat buff nerds about like Pokemon is a die-hard RPG and it takes all of your knowledge and insight to. And it's like it's a baby game. I played the first one. I played Red and Blue. Because obviously my parents didn't realise that Red and Blue were the same game, just with swapped out Pokemon. Yeah. So I got Red, Blue. Oh my god, I got Red, Blue, and Yellow in like the same 2 years. And I didn't. My dumb brain was too limited to realise that I was playing the same thing.
They were the same thing over and over again.
But like, you could go through the game without caring about stats. But then obviously, as you get older, you're then like, oh shit, I can actually buff up the attack, defense, and so Let's Go Eevee. I even spent like 10 hours just grinding out and defensing. Like, everyone was just defense. No one could hurt me. And it's like, oh.
Yeah, I think you got a point with how, like, you can kind of make it as baby mode as you want. Like, you can make Pokemon as complicated as you want. Like, you can just go through it arse blasting, like, just leveling up your Pokemon, not caring about stats or, you know, like, typing or anything. And you could still, you could play the game like that. But that takes away a lot of the complexity of it. Yeah. And I don't want Pokemon or Nintendo or whatever to I don't know, Game Freak. They're the ones who do it. I don't want them to take that choice away.
No, that's a good point. I do find it like I know everyone loves Pokemon, everyone loves like the Pokemon Company and Game Freak and stuff, but you just look at every other franchise that's an RPG that's very similar that has just made like massive strides. Even I mean, Ni no Kuni came out in 2013, and that is like the best Pokemon game.
Yeah,
and then I even think of other things like Dragon Quest, the recent ones are basically
Persona
how
is
have
a
they
better
not
Pokemon
just
game than most Pokemon games.
Yeah. But it's just like, do you remember when like someone mocked up what a new Pokemon could look like in the Breath of the Wild engine?
Yeah.
And it's like, why don't they just do that? And they've said before, like, oh, it'd be too difficult because of how many Pokemon there has to be and stuff. Just look at anything like any Japanese RPG other than Pokemon is like that.
And I think people would be totally fine if they made, this game that everyone wanted, and they only had like 200 Pokemon in it.
Yeah, I'm personally, I don't want about 700 Pokemon to collect.
No.
But I don't know. I guess we'll find out this year. Although I feel like Nintendo are probably going to do some shit stuff this year. Like, they've got the Zelda and Donkey Kong anniversaries coming up, but are they really going to do anything like that? Like, anything good for it?
No.
They'll just release a collection. I know we spoke about this, but
They only care about Mario. They're like, oh, it's Mario's 33rd and a half year anniversary. Let's re-release whatever. No one.
Yay, Mario's a massive furry against a big Bowser Godzilla thing in the new Bowser's Fury fucking... I love how that trailer for that Bowser's Fury fucking thing ends like it's going to be the showdown to end all showdowns.
Yeah. It's like...
literally Godzilla versus Kong, and it's just not going to be.
It's like the final arc of the anime.
Attack on Titan, but it's Mario.
That'd be cool.
Actually, it would be kind of cool. They have to eat mushrooms and then they like all turn into the Titans.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I was thinking a lot about video games recently, especially I know we keep talking about video game adaptations. HBO Max did like a quick teaser the other day of all the stuff coming out.
Yeah.
And it's like a minute long, and it showed like maybe 2 seconds of all their films that are coming out, including Godzilla vs Kong. Just want to bring it up. There is still no trailer for that film, and it comes out in a month and a half. That's worrying.
Yeah, I don't understand.
There isn't one for Space Jam 2 yet.
When does Space Jam 2 actually come out?
I don't think it's until summer, so at least that makes sense.
That makes more sense. But still, like, some movies, a trailer will come out, like, fucking a year. Before.
Yeah. But the one... There's a Mortal Kombat movie.
Yeah.
And this is, like, the first one being made by, like, with a lot of money behind it.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had such hits as Mortal Kombat, the original one, then Annihilation.
Great movie.
Terrible films.
All right, well,
but really funny.
Agree to disagree. Oh, yeah.
But then I'm looking at like the screenshots for this, and it just look like they've put up like photos from like, when it's like a magazine have got like photos that were done on set, so not necessarily screen captures from the movie.
Yeah.
So it's not obviously edited and everything looks a bit flat. And it just, I mean, how can they make... one guy looks like Steve Harvey.
Awesome.
I'll bring that up while we're talking, but I just like, this is gonna... I mean, to be fair, it's a good thing that they're putting everything online for streaming, because I think this is the only way that film could get anyone to watch it.
Yeah.
But I just don't understand, like, why all these things have to be made?
Yeah, I don't really understand the point in video game movies anymore.
No.
Like, I got it, like, in the early 2000s and, like, 90s and whatever, because video games were very, obviously not, like, primitive, but, they were still, like, blocky 2D games, most of them.
Yeah.
Whereas now, games are becoming so much more immersive and realistic to a degree. I don't understand why people want movies of them anymore. like we were talking about Red Dead Redemption 2. That's basically an entire TV series.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. It's just like we said. I think we've said this like 15 times, but it's just Hollywood trying to be like, hey, look, like, oh no, it's the video game industry trying to be like, hey, movie fans, look at us.
Yeah,
you can like games too.
We're doing
games are
things
cool.
too. Who gives a shit?
Exactly. Who gives a shit? Right. I'm just gonna. So this is in the Mortal Kombat movie. Someone is playing. I don't know who the actor is, but he's playing Jax, who's just like a big black guy. I'm just gonna put the picture of. Right. So this is what the character looks like if you look in our chat. This is the official image from the EW magazine. Can you see that?
Was Jax always black? No, he wasn't. I always remember him being a white guy for some reason.
You might be thinking of there is another white guy who's got like metallic cyborg features to him.
Was it Johnny something?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you've seen that.
Yeah.
This is a better version of.
I'd prefer this version.
I much prefer this version. If Steve Harvey was in a Mortal Kombat movie, oh my god!
Steve Harvey is supposed to be in the new Space Jam movie, so.
Yeah, but he'll just be himself. He'll be an announcer. He'll be brought in to like, actually.
I wouldn't mind that, but
that'd be pretty cool.
It would be cool to see someone like Steve Harvey in like a really badass role.
What, in like a John Wick role? Like
yeah, kinda.
Odenkirk's doing.
Like, yeah, you see, like, they'll make people like, what's the name of the guy who did like Nick Offerman? Is that his name? Who did Ron Swanson? People always have him as like the cool old guy. People like that, and like people like that should get to actual badass roles.
That's a good point. Actually, Nick Offerman would be fucking perfect.
Yeah.
Have you seen him now as well? He's proper like, he's swole. Well, not necessarily swole, but he fit.
Yeah, he's a. You know when some people with a shirt on they look fit fat, but they're actually just fit. They just have a weird body shape, kind of like that. He's
always been fit.
Yeah.
They forced him to wear, like during Parks and Recreation, they forced him to wear like a fat suit.
Yeah, he just sits in his chair all day.
I find it weird when these kind of actors though. It's like, do you remember when J.K. Simmons was in was Gordon in the Batman or Justice League?
Yeah.
And like he spent like a year like getting shredded, and it looked scary. Like I didn't like it at all. It made me like creep out.
But he was like pretty ripped in like Whiplash.
I feel like he's just always ripped. He's got a very sinewy body. Like I think he looks ripped because his veins pop out.
His veins pop out. He's just got very tight skin.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. He almost looks like someone has wrapped leather around him and pulled it super tight, but then it's like still kind of.
Yeah, he just doesn't drink any water before he shoots a scene.
Yeah, I mean it's like Hugh Jackman, wasn't it? He went on like a 48-hour no food, no water stint just before his topless scene in Logan. It's like, man, that's dedication.
I wouldn't do that.
You just die. You just like straight up 5 hours in, you're dead.
Probably.
You look like a corpse from like the Last Crusade.
They just look like I've had my soul sucked out through like my mouth and nose.
Yeah, like the Mummy. Oh god, I don't know why I did. Right, so I watched The Mummy the other day. No one. If anyone watching this instantly thinks of Tom Cruise as The Mummy, you can fuck off. You can unsubscribe from us right now.
Just dislike the video.
Yeah, just dislike the video. But the original 2 Mummy films, I'm not counting the third one because garbage. But oh man, I think those 2 are probably in my top 10 films of all time.
Really?
At least the first Mummy. I've watched that film I don't even know how many times.
I mean, it's a really good movie, but like top 10, that's a big statement.
I think it's just because of what it means to me. And Brendan Fraser is a fucking hunk. He's like a stalactite of just man.
It's such. I still cry over what happened to Brendan Fraser. Because it's funny because I watched George of the Jungle the other day.
Nice.
And like he looks insane in that movie.
It's ridiculous.
Like,
I think he has one of the best, like, because he is not too ripped that it looks like it's gross.
No.
He is perfect.
He's like a perfect man. He's lean, but still incredibly muscly and toned.
He's got the locks of a god.
Of a Greek Adonis. Like
this is just the We Simp Brendan Fraser podcast.
Yeah, who wouldn't know?
So I watched The Mummy, and I was here on my own. I just had The Mummy on in the back, in the screen next to me. And then I was like, this is such a good film, and it's got so many cool moments and funny moments. And I did the thing that I keep taking the piss out of a younger me for. You know, I keep saying about how when I used to play video games, I'd try and get like a cool thing going on.
Sure.
I did the same thing with the Mummy movie. I put it on specifically when Amanda was doing like some coursework on her iPad, right? And she doesn't really pay attention to the TV, and I was like, I'm going to put the Mummy on again. Bear in mind, I'd watched it 4 hours before. And I was like, I put the Mummy on again, and I kind of just watched it. I was like,
yeah.
And she didn't watch it, and I was like,
This?
and then I'd overlaugh at bits that I found funny. And she just didn't pay any attention. And then the credits rolled, and I was like, I just watched this for the second time for no reason.
That's, you know what, I respect that though, because I do like very similar things. Like, if like I know a really good part, like I've been watching like Breaking Bad with Mum. I've already seen it, so I know when like good bits are coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes she'll just like walk out of the room and be like, oh, I'm just going to make a drink or go to the toilet. And I'm like, oh, do you want me to pause it? She's like, no, it's fine.
And you pause it.
I pause it anyway because I'm like, I know a really good bit is just about to come up.
Yeah. You have to. I think as fans of media, we have to do this. This is like it's like the unwritten rule, I think.
You have to
You've got to show people cool shit.
You have to force people to like appreciate it.
I did the same with John Wick as well like 2 weeks ago. I put on John Wick, and I was just like, during the whole bathhouse fight scene, club fight scene in the first one, again, I just put it on because I was like, she has to notice this, and just say, wow.
Oh, that's cool.
Is that Keanu Reeves? Is that, oh my god.
Wow. It's like,
but
yeah, he does all the stunts himself, yeah. So, wow.
He's actually a pretty nice guy. I've never met him, but I take the internet's word for it.
He's definitely nice.
I feel bad for him for the whole cyberpunk stuff, though, because, like, I mean, it doesn't bother him. He's got a fat paycheck from it, but I hope he doesn't look online and see that people hate cyberpunk.
He probably doesn't even like register that it exists. He just like he did it. He doesn't.
It's real. He thinks he was shooting for the Matrix 4.
Yeah, you just like got
Just
off
saying
set.
that Neo turned into a Johnny Silverhand.
Yeah, that's how they tricked him into doing it. They just told him that it was some extra stuff he needed to shoot for Matrix 4.
Oh, sorry, Keanu. We need to shoot an entire 2 years worth of footage for the Matrix 4, but you're a completely different character. Whoa. Okay.
Rad.
I love him, but like, he's not a good actor. In the like sense, in the classics,
not in a traditional sense, no.
Like when I rewatched John Wick, and it's like the bit where he's like, "People keep asking me if I'm back." Yeah, I'm thinking I'm back. It's like he says it like when you're trying to be angry, act angry, but you've got to be quiet.
You don't want to yell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really angry. I can't take this out on anyone. It's like,
oh,
Keanu.
I love like getting people raging, playing like online video games, and hearing them do that.
Oh my god! Fuck!
Oh god!
Scream into a pillow.
Oh, it's so good.
I know I keep bringing up Cyberpunk, but the like creative director and head of the company came out the other day and did an apology video, and it was awful. He came out during the apology video. He literally looked like someone had grabbed a dried, like they'd opened up a sarcophagus, pulled a man out, and just dangled him in front of a camera.
Looks like
and he doesn't even own up to it. He's like, "We're sorry that you are offended by how bad the game was at launch." He wasn't that bad, but I don't know. One thing, the reason I wanted to bring it up is because he basically said, and what came out from an article by Jason Schreier is that 2018 gameplay demo, the first time we all saw the gameplay, was entirely fake.
Yeah.
And I know that's common practice for sometimes, but that was a 40-minute gameplay demo, and it was completely faked. They spent 8 months working on that gameplay demo that was fake, than working on the fucking game.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I think that kind of stuff, like, that should be criminal. Cause I know, like, exactly. they'll put down, like, a tiny little thing in the bottom of the corner that says, like, this is not a representation of the full game. It's like, sure, that's fine if it's a cinematic or, whatever. But no, if you're portraying it as gameplay, that's just completely false. I think.
Yeah, that's false advertising.
It's fucked.
But I don't know. It's shit, but I was gonna. This is completely off topic. Something I've been seeing a lot recently. There's all these trends that have started to happen during lockdown because obviously people are like either masturbating all day or like just sat watching TV all day. And I keep seeing all this stuff on Twitter and Instagram of like couples getting dressed up for like a date night in their own homes.
Okay.
And then like not seeing each other. Like getting dressed in separate parts of the house, not seeing each other. One of them cooks a dinner and then the other one comes up or like leaves the house, knocks back on the door.
Okay.
As though like it's a date. And I don't know why it just kind of cringes me out and pisses me off. I know it's just like light-hearted fun, but it's these things that get under my skin. I don't know why. I just get angry at it.
This kind of stuff really bothers you?
I don't know why. It's not like I'm not angry at them. I'm just angry at like I just hate trends that just. I don't know, it's like me and Bae going for our date, getting all dressed up, and it's like they've just bought like a tuxedo that's like $3,000. Wear it. They go and sit down and have their spaghetti and meatballs, and then what do they do? Do they sit like that for the rest of the night?
Yeah, you just put on a movie, snuggle in there.
You can't snuggle while
dress and $3,000 tux.
I don't know. I just wanted to bring it up because it's something I've been seeing and it's a pet peeve. It's now a pet peeve of mine. So.
Can we next episode? Can we come like dressed really fancy for this?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Like a date. No. See, this makes more sense. That would make sense.
Wow.
If you were in a long distance relationship, say I was in a long distance relationship, I would get dressed nicely if we were going to do a Discord chat or a video call.
See. Obviously, like, doing, like, Zoom lectures and stuff for school and that, like, I always try, like, to at least get,
to look presentable.
Even if it's just putting on, like, a decent hoodie or something, like, that I would wear if I was actually going to a class. But there's people who are literally, like, just got out of the shower. There's people who are, like, still in their pajamas or, like, they're wearing, like, a top. When you have like an old top that you just wear about, you just throw on, it's got rips in,
they're wearing stained. Like a wife beater vest.
Yeah, like some people just do not care.
Spaghetti thing. Yeah, I think that's how you can tell how people are doing during this whole situation. Because like, even before we record this, I at least went and had like a shower or something, and I'm just like, just so I feel a bit better, like.
Yeah.
Sure, you can say. I mean, there was 2 days last week that I didn't shower or anything. Like, fuck this.
I've gone longer. It's fine.
Oh, yeah.
I've gone far longer.
I went to Reading Festival once, and I didn't shower the night before. The night before that, because so I went out for like a work day. didn't shower for 2 nights beforehand, went to Reading, didn't shower for 3 days, came back, was too tired, didn't shower that day. That's like 4 or 5 days of not just not showering, but jumping around in sweaty pits and just monging out in fields, falling asleep in mud, nearly shitting myself.
It's a great time. Then you get to... Yeah. But when you finally get to that shower...
Oh, it's... yeah.
It's the most amazing thing in the world.
It's like being baptized.
Yeah, it's awesome. Like, I love when you've, like... Say if you've had a day where you had to do a lot of physical labour, like if you've helped someone move or some shit like that, and at the end of the day, you've got like dirt under your fingernails, like you can feel like mud and grime and shit on your legs, and you get in the shower and you can like physically just watch it, like wash
drain
off.
away.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes you feel closer to God, honestly. Yeah. Like when, I think when you throw yourself into it mentally as well, like, doing hard. Yeah, and you've got it all over your hands, and your hands hurt, and your hands are all, like, gross and kind of, chapped and stuff. Yeah. Like, because also when I was younger, I worked in, like, a furniture store, and, like, some of the shit I was lifting, I wouldn't be able to lift now. I dare even The Rock would be able to lift shit like that at his age.
You get battle hardened when you work a job like that.
Yeah, and there's like that whole thing of like, when you're going for a handshake for certain people, you can tell that they've never worked a normal job in their life. Like even you've worked in retail and stuff, so you would still be able to tell. Like, I think there's like a special little man-to-man handshake. It's like some fucking Vulcan mind meld where you give someone a handshake and it's like, I know your history.
I get genuinely mad when because I'm a uni student, so I'm like, everyone I interact with is like 19, 20, like that kind of age. And I get so frustrated when I meet people who haven't worked like normal jobs, or just haven't worked ever. They haven't worked a day in their life. Because I'm like, when I got to like 16, like mum and dad were like, all right, you have to get a job now.
I think it's just a rite of passage though as well, isn't it? Like, it's not like mum and dad needed you.
No.
To get a job.
But
it's like
it clicks a certain part in your brain that makes you like more adult, more mature, I think, when you have to work a job.
And getting your first paycheck that you've worked for is like one of the best moments, I think.
Definitely.
Like, did you spend yours on anything or did you save it?
I remember I went out for like, I got like just a takeaway. And then after that, I started saving it. Like, I just went all out. Just got a really nice meal.
That's quite good. That's good. Yeah. I blew my first paycheck on a Dean ML guitar, similar to Dimebags.
Right.
Because I was a proper metalhead. I must have played it like 5 times, and then I joined a little indie band. And then I was like, I'm never going to use it. It was fucking cool though. It was a 30th anniversary edition, and it had like it was just black matte zebra grey, and it had this like, I don't know. It was fucking sick, but I would never use that. I wouldn't even use it now, even if I still had it. But the only reason it was good for like squealing like pinch harmonic dive bombs, like Dimebag Darrell.
Did it have Did it have like a floating tram?
Mm-hmm. And I'll just do like the the end of the walk solo.
Yeah.
But it is just like that, bing, like the proper like dive bomb. I'll just do that and then I'll like put it back in the case.
I'm trying to think if I've ever blown money on something really stupid. Like I can't off the top of my head think of anything in particular.
It maybe not even stupid. Like, what have you spent anything? Have you spent money on things that like you just didn't end up using? Because I don't think that, because the guitar was great.
Yeah.
If I was going to continue doing that kind of music or whatever, like it would still be great, but I just didn't use it, so it was a waste of money. I mean, I sold it, but like 5 years later, so it was worth like nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish I had something that I was like, I just bought something really expensive that was really stupid. I had fun with it, but then I didn't actually need it or use it or anything. Like, even like, I feel like stupid when I buy like a nice pair of shoes. I think I spent like 90 quid on a pair of shoes, but I still wear them. and I still think they're great. But I also think like, why the fuck did I spend 90 quid on shoes though?
Yeah, but like that's like you like new shoes. It's like it's not. I think it's different if you were buying shoes like that every week.
Yeah, I know
Then I
people
think it'd
like
be
that.
kind of. But it's like because you buy stuff like that expensive once in a while. I think it's fine. It's like
I think
it's a depression,
video,
anti-depression.
There's lots
thing.
of video games that are great examples of that, where like you get really excited about this like 60 quid game that you buy. It comes out, you play it for like a day, like it's not that great, and then you just forget about it.
Yeah. I definitely had that issue in like the PS2 era and early PS3 era. I bought a game called Jericho, which was by Clive Barker.
Right.
Like great horror writer, obviously like Hellraiser and Stir of Echoes, like loads of shit. But this fucking game was abominable. The concept was fucking sick, but the game sucked ass. But I was like 15 and I was like, oh, this is like the first 18 rated game I've bought myself somehow. Don't know how I managed that.
Sneaky.
But it's like that was like 60 quid. And that must have been like one of my first paychecks as well.
For some reason,
And it was like a squad based.
I'm picturing like a The Darkness type game. I don't know why.
The funny thing is, The Darkness came out the same year, I believe, and I bought that as well. Darkness was one of the best amounts of money I've ever spent.
That's great.
Fucking great game. But this Clive Barker game, Jericho, you'll have to look it up at some point. It was like everyone looked like 2D sprites. There was like gore everywhere. You played as a squad of people that had supernatural ability. You could swap between them at will.
Right.
And you were trying to find the Antichrist that was being born.
What?
Like a newborn Antichrist thing, and it was like sentient. It was like a sentient baby.
That sounds pretty
And
cool,
it was spawning
actually.
these hell demon. Like I said, the concept is sick, but the game was arse. But
I think I feel like I had the inverse of that, where I remember I went into like just an old shop once, and they had a bunch of like old PS3 games, and like 2 quid each, and I just bought a few of them, and like most of them were kind of trash, but I got two of the games I got were Bulletstorm, which was fucking fantastic. I'd never heard of it or anything before, but it had Bulletstorm in the title, so I thought it'd be cool. And like Ghost Recon Future Soldier, where you control like a whole squad of like elite snipers. And like those, like I spent like no money on those games, but they were like fucking amazing. I spent hours playing them.
Yeah, it's funny though. Maybe if you to be fair, those are good games, but like if you had bought them both at their like original price, you probably wouldn't have thought that good about them.
Been like, it's not 60 quid's worth a game.
That's why when you get games for free, like or for birthdays or Christmas, that they are like the best games.
They're so much better.
Because there's no pressure. Your wallet isn't like, it doesn't have to suffer.
Yeah, I sometimes feel like that. Like even if it's like a decently priced game, I feel like I'll still judge it really harshly. Because I'm like, I spent a lot of money on this. It better be good.
That's the thing. Like, so like I've been playing like Little Nightmares again.
Great game.
In preparation for 2, and it's like that game when it came out. I don't think I got it immediately when it came out. Maybe I did, but I think it was like 20 quid to download. And like that for like it's like a 4-hour, 5-hour experience, but that was a great experience for that amount of money. But the second one looks like it's going to be 40 quid, 50 quid, and it's like I know I'll still get it.
Yeah.
Because I want to support that license, but it's like I don't know.
But then, if you're paying more, you're getting more. Really, you're getting more game. Yeah.
I've seen that Hitman 3 came out today.
Oh, really?
And Hitman 3, if you buy it, you have access to Hitman 1 and 2 as well.
That's pretty cool.
So for 50 quid, you get 3 full games. And there's like a VR. You can now play all of the games in VR, PSVR.
What?
Which is insane.
That's
I
cool.
do really want to try that, but...
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've always felt really weird with the Hitman games. Like, I don't know why. Like, they're really cool, but I prefer like the kind of stealth games where you're actually like hiding in like shadows and shit.
Yeah, I do too. To be fair.
So like, whenever I've played them, I've just like I kind of fuck myself over because I like try and sneak around rather than just like.
Yeah, it's almost like you can't really sneak, can you? You've got to like play it. Like you've got to distract people. You've got to like set moments up to happen that takes enemies out of an area, or it's a bit more strategic, I suppose, instead of just like running around behind people, shanking them in the neck and shit. But did you come up with anything for? Because last week we spoke about midgets, and if we were in a relationship with midgets.
Right.
Have you come up with another scenario about dating?
Do you want one that's realistic or one that's really stupid?
I think you know the answer to that already.
Okay.
Hit me with the stupid one.
So let's say you're dating this person, you know, 2-3 months, something like that. And this person now tells you that every night when they go to sleep, they have to take their eyeballs out of their head and put them in like a glass of water, like by the side of their bed.
Is that it? That's the...
Yeah.
Wait. Wait,
they have to take their eyeballs out of their head and put them in a glass of water so they can go to sleep.
So what are their eyeballs attached to when they put them back in their head?
I don't know. It's hypothetical.
Okay, fine.
They're just like little golf balls.
As long as the glass isn't next to me and I can put like a mask over their head, over their face, I think I'd be alright with it.
What if they didn't like it?
Is there a chance that their eyes can just fall out at random times during the day, though?
Yeah.
Okay. That'd be fine, because that'd be funny, but...
Well, yeah, what if it gets dirty? Like, would they have...
Well, I would not... I mean, I'd not be picking it up. If a little squidgy eye was rolling around, it's like... in, like, busy centre of London, and there's loads of people running around. I'm not going to, like, tell people to stop because my missus' eye is, like, rolling around. I'll just let it happen.
What do you
Someone's
mean?
Someone's going to stand on that.
If someone steps on it, she's fucked.
She's still got one eye.
Yeah, but... Would
I ain't picking it up. Because what then? It's covered in, like, gravel and dust.
Yeah,
what do you do?
I don't know. But, like...
Put it in a doggy bag and take it home and wash it.
So even if it has the chance of falling out randomly during the day, that wouldn't bother you?
Not really.
Well, she's like, oh, no, can you please go grab my eye? I'm busy.
No, I'm not doing that. If she wants me to put them in... Say she wakes up in the morning and I've got to take them out of the glass of water and, like, get rid of the drips.
Yeah.
And then, like, squeak them into a fucking eye sockets.
Yeah.
The gaping wound holes in her brain.
What
if I push them too far or something? Or, like, they go into the back,
well,
like...
you would know.
No, because what if it goes into the back and it's like eye socket flesh, and then their eyeballs stuck at the back of their
let's
brain.
assume that like when you put them in, if they're the wrong way around, they just sort of like snap into place. Just go like whoosh, they like rotate around.
Whoosh. Okay, well that'd be fine then.
Okay,
that'd be fine.
Would it change it for you if she can still see through those eyeballs when she takes them out?
I would exploit her for all the money she's worth.
How?
So I would make like a magic show. By the way, look in the text chat, just so that we have like some kind of context.
This is not what their eyeball would look like. That's not what an eye looks like.
Well, this is what we're saying it looks like right now.
It doesn't have to be one... Okay.
I would buy an old, like, 19th century cage. I would shove her in the cage. I would cart her around to all the greatest places of Europe.
You can't do this.
All these, like, I would take her to, like, a marketplace in, like, Azerbaijan. and I'd like be like, "Come see the wondrous woman with the eyes that can see anything." And then I would like take her eyeballs out, and I'd like put them in different corners of the earth, and it'd be like, "What do you see?" And then and she'd tell me what she sees, and everyone would be like, "Wow."
Wow, I see. That's terrible. That people aren't gonna care to hear this woman who all she does is tells you about a different location on Earth. Like, that's really boring.
All right, okay. I would sell her to the CIA.
You can't sell a person.
We can. What they would do is they would use her as recon. She'd be like Splinter Cell. She'd be like Sam Fisher, but he can take his eyeballs out and roll them under doors. Or shove her eye. Does her eye regenerate if it gets wounded or injured?
Let's say if it like squishes and stuff, it will sort of inflate back.
Okay, so they send her to all these like covert ops. She like takes her eyebrow and shoves it through a keyhole. And it like lands in about 10 pieces on the other side of the door, and then it regenerates.
But this is like the CIA you're talking about. I'm sure they have very advanced camera technology.
But this is human evolution. This is better.
This isn't evolution. This is mutation.
No, this is where everyone's ending up. She's just evolved first.
No, I would not like to think of a society where everyone can take their eyeballs out of their head.
No, I wouldn't. Because it would just be like Pan's Labyrinth.
What if she's like... Let's say you don't do any of this. You don't sell her to the government. You don't take her to Indian flea markets and try and,
but they might give me like 2 donkeys.
Let's say you're just hanging out like normal and you're like, oh, I want to go hang out with my friends. And she makes you take an eye.
Oh.
Yeah. Because she's like, I don't trust you.
Okay, so what I would do in that situation, I would take the eye, but I would end up putting it in... Because it's not like the eye can communicate to me. It's not like I can hear her thoughts through the eyeball. So I would say we're in a pub, and we've got pint glasses and loads of shit. I would literally I put the eye behind a glass or something so she can't see shit. And she can't hear anything.
Then she would be more suspicious, because she's like, oh, what's he hiding from me?
Nah, she'd be alright.
Oh, she'd be fine. She won't care.
I don't know. I just have to like... I don't know. What would I do? Yeah, no, I think I'd be fine with that. I'll just take it and leave it in my... Sorry, Anne, I forgot. Whoops.
I can't believe you.
Or I'd just like plop her into a glass and like... While they take all the drinks away, I just quickly throw it.
You have incredibly low standards.
Low standards? You're saying that I've got to be with a woman whose eyeballs come out of her head? Willy-nilly.
I'm asking if you would. Not that you have to.
Oh. Well, yeah, I would, I suppose.
It's not like...
I've got one for you.
Okay. I wouldn't, by the way. That's too gross.
I was going to say, like, you seem to have thought about this so much, and you were so against things I had said.
You were just trying to justify it too much. Okay.
Wait, so you'd be okay then? So the basic version of this that you first came to me with was at night. It's progressed too far, to be honest.
She takes her eyeballs out of her head. What do you mean?
The initial question was, when she goes to sleep at night, she takes her eyeballs out of her head.
Yeah, but then
So would that bother you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I couldn't. What if I like wake up in the middle of the night, I hear a scary noise, and I'm like, honey, wake up, and she's
got no eyes.
She's got no eyes in her head. I couldn't deal with that. It'd be like waking up to a corpse every night.
That is true. And imagine if she sleepwalked and you woke up and she's just stood over you in the slight of the moonlight, just going into her socket.
Yeah, I'd kill myself.
And she's staring down at you with her head cocks.
Yeah, I couldn't. Yeah, exactly. There's too many variables in this situation.
That's true.
You're crazy. I don't know how you could do.
Sorry. All right. Look. Well, here's another one. Just quickly.
Okay.
This girl is absolutely normal. Or guy,
Great.
whatever. Someone. She's perfectly normal, but she has an overwhelming physical attraction to your dad. She can't help it. It's like an allergic reaction. Whenever she's around dad, she will literally throw herself at him.
No, then instant no.
Are you
no,
saying
there's
you don't
no way.
trust Papa?
No, for the fact
No,
I don't. Oh, I
He
mean,
was a fox back in the day.
of course he was, but he's a married man now. But even then, like the idea of just my like partner being overwhelmingly attracted to a family member is, I couldn't deal with that. Maybe it's because I'm super insecure. But that wouldn't work for me. Instant break up.
Okay, good answer to be fair.
Well, would you?
Yeah, I can do it either. I meant it as well. Like, she's not emotionally. It's just something that happens. Like her eyes roll. It's like, father. But no.
Okay,
I don't like that question.
Well, okay, here's another one while we're at it. What if, again, this whole thing goes, you're dating them for however long, and then they show you a picture of their family, and let's say their dad looks exactly like you.
I'd be alright with that.
What?
I've seen some girls in my time with daddy issues. It's fine.
Yeah, that's a whole... No. There's a difference between daddy issues and, like, total perversion.
I think I'd be fine with it unless we were in the same room together. Because if I went for, like, a family meal, and then there's just two me's...
Yeah.
Sat there.
I mean,
that would be weird.
That'd be cool, but, like...
Again, I'll tell you what I'll do.
Alright.
I would take the father. We would go to, like, markets in Europe or, like, Azerbaijan or India. And I'd put him in a cage and I'd be like...
You put him in a cage. I don't think he'd be okay with that. But, like, remember, he would still look older than you. He's still, like, 30 years older than you.
Okay. Yeah, I suppose I would be fine with it unless we were... I would just have to limit the amount of times I'm...
Would it make a difference for you hold on. Yeah?
Talk. Hello.
Sorry.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, sure. Do you want... Sorry.
Does he know we were talking about him literally 5 seconds ago? He doesn't know we were talking about him 5 seconds ago.
Yeah.
He's so innocent.
It's alright.
Bye, you silver fox.
Oh,
I bet he's been listening in.
I'm so glad that I can only hear this through the headphones.
Yeah. Yeah. He's tapped our call. He was listening about us talking about him.
What was I gonna say?
Wow.
Alright, I remember what I was gonna say.
Go on.
Would it change it if she brought it up?
What, and asked if I was okay with it?
Yeah, if she was like, this may be weird, but you look exactly like my dad. Would that... Yeah.
Wait, is she saying it out of surprise? Is she just come to realization?
No, she already knew this. She already knew this factor.
But then I'd be like, so you want to bang your dad? You want to bang your dad?
Not necessarily. Maybe
No,
it's
that's
more...
what I'd say.
Okay.
Oh, so she'd say not necessarily.
No. She's like, look, I really like you, but it's a bit weird that you look like my dad. I just thought I'd mention that.
I'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, I knew that, but it would have been better if you hadn't mentioned it, so you've kind of fucked things up, honestly.
So
we can't be friends.
We can't even be friends.
Yeah, we can't even be friends. We're just enemies now.
Mortal enemies. Okay. I think
So yeah,
we've
that's my
settled
answer
this.
to that. I know we're going quite long here, but I was looking at like, I was in like this whole thinking of theoretical stuff. Like, do you ever lie awake at night sometimes thinking of like worse, like really bad situations,
All the
and
time.
just how you would deal with it or how you would be in that situation?
So I spend most of my days, to be honest.
Exactly.
you have a-
I was literally so last week I watched about 10 YouTube documentaries about like criticality incidents. Like,
Criticality.
So essentially, it's like nuclear meltdowns.
Sure.
And also, I watched stuff about like Chernobyl and everything, but then there was like other instances I didn't ever know about. So there was this thing in the 50s called the Demon Core.
The Demon Core.
This already sounds like some H.P. Lovecraft shit,
Yeah.
but it's worse.
Because it was real.
So it was this metal cylinder essentially that was being tested on. It was a mixture of like uranium. It was just a nuclear compound, and these American scientists were doing experiments on it. And the experiments they were doing, they were trying to test if they could like reflect the neutrons that it takes for it to like. They wanted to see basically how much it could take,
Sure.
which is stupid anyway. So this scientist, he took all the precautions. He did all these like measurements and stuff. Like he knew what he was doing. He was really like renowned. He was really young as well, like 25. But one day, the ball is like kept in like a cylinder, and while these neurons are like reflecting, you can stop the reflection really quickly by like lifting it. It's really complicated, but essentially, you've got a disc around it. If the two discs drop and touch each other, it means that the neutrons are now not reflected and they just burst off, and it creates like an ionization of the air. Essentially, if you're working on this thing and you let the two plates drop, a burst of blue light happens and you are fucked instantly, right?
Okay.
So that's just the context. So this guy was working on it, and he slipped and had a quick little accident that maybe lasted a millisecond. And he dropped it basically made contact with the bit it shouldn't.
Sure.
The air turned blue, like the whole room turned blue for maybe 5 seconds, and he managed to lift it back up and stop what was happening. It lasted about 2 seconds. He already knew he was dead. 48 hours from then, his entire body shut down. He had growths all over his body, and he died of radiation poisoning. Okay. And it just got me thinking. I was like, how the fuck do you deal with a situation like that? Because I'm going to keep going, because the reason it's called the Demon Core is because the next year, another guy had the same metal and was doing the same experiments. This guy didn't wear gloves, didn't wear any precautionary stuff, didn't give a fuck. He was a proper like redneck version of like
Chad.
A Chad basically. And he was like, this is gonna be fine, whatever. He was using a screwdriver to prop up the two cylinders, like the plates. And again, he dropped it for a few seconds. He had a team of 8 people around him at different feet away from the actual cylinder.
Yeah.
The same thing happened. Burst of blue light. He managed to get it back to normal. But he knew in that moment, he's dead. He's right now decaying.
Yeah.
And he was like, no one leave this fucking room. I want you to mark where you were, because I want to see how this experiment pans out.
Sure. That's smart.
He died. It's smart. Like, he managed to, like, work out where everyone was, and then the scientists who came in and helped them after, well, you were this far away, this is going to happen to you. My point being, the second after that tiny little incident, you know that you're from maybe 48 hours, or I think he lasted longer actually, like 28 days, but you're dead.
Yeah, you're still.
And he just championed it. Apparently, his words were, well, that about does it.
It's like the end of an episode of Looney Tunes.
Literally, he looks at the camera and then like the little
Sticks his head through the hole.
Well, that does it. But like, how morbid is that? And I couldn't stop thinking, but like, put myself in that situation. You fucked up, and you're gonna die. A horrible death.
Yeah.
What do you do? Like, wouldn't you just want to shoot yourself there and then?
Well, probably, but that's a really scary thing to do.
Exactly. It's just little things like that I've been looking up, like this morbid reality of like 1 second you do something can literally change your life. It all gets started because I saw there's a picture of this thing called the elephant's foot in Russia.
Yeah.
You've heard of this?
Yeah.
A guy who took a picture of it died like the next day. So it's like that photo literally cost a man his life.
Yeah.
Anyway,
cool
I just wanted to bring up this depression shit because I could have gone into another story which I wanted to, but I'm not going to do that because it's too much. It's too far. We can't go from eyeball women to girls who fancy our dad.
Yeah, we've been going over an hour as well, so
well over an hour. So this is probably a good time.
This is a good point to end it after some really depressing shit. Didn't really
again. After
listening to you talk about your horror, morbid thoughts.
Yeah.
I just talk about ice cream and video games. But...
Nice. I could eat some ice cream. Just a quick PSA. Just a quick little.
Okay.
A little state of emergency announcement here. If any of you out there have, in fact, bought one of Gwyneth Paltrow's vagina candles, you may want to A, return that, B, dispose of it in a lake somewhere, because that shit will blow up and nearly burn your house down. As a woman in the UK found out this. So just just wanted to get that out there. If any of you have got that, I'm sure there's probably 5 people out there in the world that have these candles. 2 of them being critical, but anyway.
I might need to sort some stuff out quickly before we do our next thing. By the way, just.
All right, looking out. All right. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in for the first, the last, and the worst episode of the Matt and Ryan Show.
Probably the worst.
Yeah, I think everyone's the worst. We should do a tier list of our own episodes, and they're all just F tier.
That'd be good. Said the one with the midget sex. That was a good one.
That's easy S.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. All right.
All right.
Bye.
Ciao, guys.
Love you. Ciao.